Okay, so I came across this blog post a bit ago. It is, where is it? One of these. But it's a series of posts. I think it was part 4 here. A series of posts that can go through a long list of talking about stalkerware. Uh, there are some. I go through this for the content of it, not necessarily the messenger thereof. But anyway, so what is Stalkerware? It's time to embark on a new mission. Over the course of the next few blog posts, we're going to try slowly ruin the stalkerware industry. Some of the most vile, somehow not illegal types of businesses to exist. But to do this, I should first do a basic intro into what the stalkerware is and why it's so bad. Oh my goodness, grammar. Anyway, I'm going to go grammar crazy anyway. Yeah. Stalkerware is an umbrella term for most privately commercially available spyware, more specifically ones hidden from the target. Spyware that doesn't hide its purpose, such as child monitoring software like Life 360, will be referred to as watchware in this series. It is also referred to as spouseware due to the prevalence and use by controlling partners to catch cheating partners. But I dislike this term because use of such software against children or by employers against employees is just as bad as abusive as against partners. Stalkerware usually works by giving the spying person access to a dashboard where they can track all phone activity of a victim, be it phone calls, text messages, notifications, geolocation, photos, or anything else you can imagine. As well as a mobile or desktop application, the client malware component usually either requires for the spying person to either have physical access to a device or to install a client, which hides itself upon finishing setup or sending their victim a link to a disguised application, such as a ringtone creator application, which then asks for an activation code also provided by the spy. A lot of industry advertises in a way that implies that software such as this is to be used to keep children safe, but some just blatantly say you can use it to secretly spy on your partners, but absolutely without exception, basically all companies in this industry tell you that you need to consent to use tools such as these. I'm curious, how has anyone ever been convicted anywhere for secretly spying on their partners or children? So, I can see it. Is it needed for spying on your spouse? No, not really. If you're worried about that, the problem you run into is depending on the relationship when it comes to a spouse relationship, is if it's supposed to be committed and one of them is secretly going out and doing things, then that creates a problem. Is stalkerware the best way to go about figuring that out? No. There are other better ways to do that. There are more creative ways to kind of suss that out. Now, for the case of children, should a parent be aware of what their children are doing? Yes. Can stalkerware be an aid in helping do that? Yeah, it can be. But a lot of the parents that end up using stalkerware are the helicopter parents. If you're building trust between both you and if you have trust with your spouse, if you have trust with your children, then I think being able to see what's going on and having that understanding of trust and open communication makes stalkerware not needed at all. In the workplace, stalkerware might be used to help suss out the lazy employees or people that aren't contributing that much. It's kind of this meritocracy thing going on. If you're being a drain on our company, you're costing us more resources and therefore costing the customer more resources. And so if we want to keep our costs low, we have to get rid of you because you're just a drain on us. If you aren't going to contribute and work and make it so that we can pass savings on to our customers, then why are you here? You should be somewhere else. Anyway, why is it bad? Okay, I feel like it should already be clear from the previous section why stalkerware and watchware is bad generally, even with consent. But just to make my points more explicit and point out some extra reasons for why it's bad, here we go. Using especially hidden tracking tools on anyone is controlling abusive behavior. This is every social media platform ever trying to infiltrate and spy on you through your browser. Everyone has a right to privacy. Yeah, it's a protected right. Yes, that includes children. Children are not your property. They are a stewardship that you have to take care of and raise up to be good citizens, though. I'm not saying that you have to install stalkerware or spyware onto a child's device, but letting a child run rampant on the internet is also not a way to raise them properly. Even with consent, informing the person to be spied on, especially if they are your child or otherwise are someone with authority over them, it is still controlling. Children deserve privacy in their own spaces. If they trust you, they will talk to you about crap that's going on. If they don't, you're only going to ruin everything more by spying on them. Again, this is where building that trust from the get-go creates a space to where you don't even need it. And that's the whole point of it, is if you have that trust, then yeah, you can have those check-ins like, hey, can I see what's going on? Have you prepared your child properly for anything that may come up, especially on the internet? Are you letting your child on the internet whenever they want to be at an early age? Because that creates a problem if you are. Stalkerware providers almost always end up getting hacked, leaking all the detailed recorded data of everyone. Again, juicy data. Stalkerware does, for whatever reason, Stalkerware doesn't, well, I guess in that case, like, COPPA doesn't even matter. But even then, when you look at the way things have been for the last 3 decades with child protection legislation, it's been very ineffective. All right, let's see. What's this series going to be about? So see point 5 above. Yeah, I'll be collecting stalkerware breaches sent to me, looking into companies myself and blogging about them one by one, revealing as far as possible how insecure they are, who's behind them, trying to comment and helping other journalists with stalkerware reporting, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, the Let Me Spy hack. This is kind of going to be our first one. It's another shorty boy. So I think we can do 2 posts per video. A few days ago, let's see, the intro to this series and the concept of stalkerware can be found. Okay, a few days ago, while I was starting work on this very series, Polish stalkerware company Let Me Spy got completely pwned and had their database dumped. Link to the file was sent my way, and I decided that this would be a fun thing to start the series off with, especially since so far this breach has been barely, if at all, reported on outside Polish media. Dump contains the following. Let's see. You've got decrypted calls, messages, users, and media messages, it looks like. All the files are compressed using Z standard. There's a full PHP myadmin DB dump. Oh, that's their SQL database. Got it. CSVs of decrypted calls, messages, as well as a convenient CSV of user IDs, emails, passwords, and password hashes. A user table who used it. After a cursory glance over all the domains used for user emails, I've come to the following main conclusion. 3 government workers have signed up, 2 from Malaysia, 1 from Jordan. D. Morrison from Browsard Police had signed up, and at least 1 person from a competing stalkerware product, which we'll get to in due time in this series, has signed up. Definitely no advanced inspiration happening here. After a cursory glance at the dump database and call message logs, it however doesn't appear like any of the above users have actually really used the product in any capacity. Another concerning thing I noticed, however, in the list of email address domains is how many U.S. college students appear to be using stalkerware such as this, though I guess it does fit the U.S. college culture to be spying on partners in such a manner. So the curiosity thing I would be behind is, are they women? And are they using it on their men? Or is it the other way around? What are the statistics for, like, who's using it on who? And what kind of relationships they are in? And I guess in a lot of ways, the sexuality behind it as well. Because then you can see who has the most trust issues. And if you look at the college domains, which colleges have the highest number of people using this software on top of that? Is there a disproportionate number from this college or this college? Are there even any from this college over here or what? And if they're using their college email, they're pretty dumb. But anyway. Let's see, other stuff. All right, so obviously there's the message and call logs revealing with whom and what all the spied on people have communicated, which so far I've not yet had time to deep dive into, though I might wait with that in general until I have more data sets from various of these apps. But some interesting stuff in there. There's obviously logs of various drug trades happening. So many people get Trump campaign text messages. Yeah, whatever. There's at least 2 instances of stalkers admitting to their tracking and calling the person they're spying on out since they've just caught them cheating. Let's see. I never even really thought about how easy account takeover is. With Stalkerware installed on your victim's phone, you can request 2FA codes and use them. Ooh, interesting. Additionally, available in the database are geolocation logs, IP addresses for operators, phone model, Android version operator payment logs. This data also shows us that there's around 10,000 phones registered to be surveilled via the software, though a large part of them seem to have never sent any activity updates. Let's see. What I also found in the database is a global configuration for the site, which reveals that Let Me Spy is run by Rafa Lidwin, which tracks since, according to his new LinkedIn, he's the CTO of Radial, the company that, according to the footer, runs LMS. The second profile directly links to his known old business, as well as Hurtoni, which is the database. Also makes clear is his. Checking the footer of these sites, they credit SL Media, which newer LinkedIn claims to be manager and former programmer. He's the first user to sign up, blah, blah, blah. Ethics of it is, of course, not nice that data collected by spyware without the victim's consent is just publicized like this. There's still some nuance to this. There's barely any chance targets of Stalkerware will ever be informed of breaches unless data about them leaks, and third parties are able to do so. In this specific case, it's not even possible for LMS to inform targets, since the app has no functionality to talk to targets, notify them, as well as no self-update mechanism. At best, the company can inform operators of this breach, and even that is doubtful. What's going to be interesting in this specific case is where the GDPR liability lies. Is it on LMS or on the operators to inform victims? If we're lucky, this could already be enough to bring them down. Furthermore, as with any data sets of highly personal data, they're highly valuable to various investigative journalisms. Yes, this is data that ideally would not exist, but it is existing, means it can be analyzed in interesting ways. Data sets of lots of text messages, calls, political influence campaigns, politicians' attempt of buying votes, high-level persons being spied on, even reveal corruption. I am of the opinion that most data sets can be used for good in the right hands, even if they shouldn't exist at all. Also, the main thing these data sets will also contain is information on the operators and on the people who use software, such as for their spying on their partners, kids, employees, etc. Obviously does not mean that there isn't a massive potential for abuse of data such as this, which is why it will not be linking to any source of it. It's a hard topic to cover, and I hope I can do it justice. Enough of this series. Let's see. Reached out for comment. Haven't heard back so far. And it will be updated. So what's interesting here, I think, is I get the Trump being looking at the site. I understand why you would feel that way about Trump campaign text messages. But then you talk about political corruption and you never go into like, hey, whether some of these people are being asked about their vote and having their vote purchased. But you allude to it, but you never search for it. But you did make sure to go and look for Trump campaign text messages. I'm not going to lie, like, But then you've got the instance of the cheating right here and the timestamp right there. Let's see. Yeah, so this is like 2 text messages to the same person. Let's see. That is a... Okay, so let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. It is debatable. Is that a timestamp or is it a phone number? That's the quest. Oh wait, it's timestamp. Yeah. Okay, so ID, message ID, user ID, phone ID, type, IP address, message, number, time. So they are US numbers. Timestamp, time add, timestamp. Anyway. Yeah, Stalkerware is very concerning, and a leak like this does do a lot. Again, with more data sets, hopefully, there would be more information in later blog posts about some of this. But anyway, if you liked the content, if you enjoyed it, if you think I deserve it, like, comment, subscribe, leave any criticisms you have or what have you. I appreciate it. Feed that algorithm, like I said. And I will see you guys in the next one.